Hello there, my name is Mwalimu Simon Lines and welcome to class. Today's lesson is about gear and equipment safety, because the moment you become a photographer, one of the things you yearn for at that particular point in life is to own some equipment. Have a camera, have a speed light, have some lenses, possibly own a studio, have stands, have softboxes and modifiers and things like that. But now the reality of the matter is, the moment you start owning your first piece of equipment, you become a target. Why do you become a target? Because you're going to be owning things that are small in size but high in value. That makes you a target to people who are going to be what we call equipment thief, and their aim is to steal what you have, then sell it off cheap to another person who is going to be using it. Okay, so without further ado, I want to share a few tips that can help you. Number one, stay longer with the equipment that you're going to be buying, and number two, in this long stay of yours with the equipment, because sometimes in the course of people trying to get your equipment and you come in between, people have ended up getting injured or even getting killed. So without further ado, let's share a few points that can help you keep your gear safe. So back here I have a few pointers, I think 7 of them, and I'm going to start with the first one is carry the least amount of gear possible. So the reason I'm insisting on this one is because I noticed to start owning more, we want to carry more to location, even in times when it is not necessary for us to have a still stand in the location, or have a 120 cm or have a AD600. We are going to carry them to location and set them up and end up not using them for the purpose of creating what we call face value for the client. So but I think if you're a photographer worth their salt, you do not have to sell your face value by putting gear on that you do not need. They're going to be trusting your skill, not your gear. So the more skill you have, the less you carry, and the less you carry, the less you risk to theft and to loss. Okay, so always ensure that you carry the least amount of gear possible. Be like Simon. Simon carries only what he needs: a camera, 2 lenses, a speed light most of the time. If I'm going to be shooting off camera, I'm going to add a small strobe and a small softbox and a small light stand. So because the less I carry, the lesser I am going to lose in case my things get stolen. That is the first point. So after that, we have point number 2 is cover your gear. So how do you identify a photographer in Nairobi? They're going to be carrying a backpack that looks fully stacked. Then on their hand, they're going to be having a metallic light stand, and most of the time this stand is not covered. So what happens is, for someone who is looking for a camera to steal, the moment they see a light stand in your hand, it is automatic, if you have a backpack, that whatever you have in the backpack is tied to whatever you have, the light stand that you have in your hand, and therefore that makes you a very easy target. So whenever you are moving around with the equipment, please make sure that it is nicely covered. It cannot be seen by the public. Even in the place that I live, for the last 9 years, and I've been owning cameras, I've never left the house with my camera uncovered. My neighbors have never seen my camera, apart from those who have come to my place for work. When I used to own a studio here, my equipment is always safely hidden in my bag all the time. So please cover up your equipment in nicely protective, padded and waterproof bags, because that is going to keep equipment safer, not just from thieves, even from weather elements and maybe things like accidental drops and things like that. So after that, we have the third point, which is heavily tied to the second one, and that is avoid branded bags. Okay, yes, you need to put your equipment in nice bags, but some of these nice bags are branded. And the thing about bags that are branded, they sell you out, because assume you are carrying a Nikon camera in a bag that is branded Nikon. So what does that tell that potential thief? That's a Nikon bag, looks full, so most likely it has a Nikon camera inside. Let me follow that guy, let me see if I can mark them when they get to a dark alley. Okay, you're carrying your HP laptop in your HP bag. That tells the thief that that is a HP bag, looks like a laptop bag, so most likely there's a HP laptop in there. So avoid branded items, and that includes branded merchandise. For example, if I'm going to work and I'm carrying my camera in my backpack, and this hoodie is branded Lines Photography, for someone who's looking for gear to steal, the moment they see a Lines Photography, that makes me a photographer, and I have a backpack with me, that makes that a camera bag, and that is what they are after. So avoid both branded bags and branded clothing when you're carrying your your equipment with you. Okay, you can drop your brand some other days when you do not have your equipment with you, but as long as you have your equipment with you, even please avoid wearing your own personal brands. Okay, then the fourth point is avoid public transport. So at the beginning of your photography career, this might not be very possible, very feasible, but as you grow as a photographer and you get to that level of billing clients for your transport, please start avoiding public transport. Why? Because public transport is going to, number one, be very slow. You're going to use 2 hours to get from Thika Road to Ngong Road. Number two, it is going to expose you to things like carjacking, muggings, pickpocketing, and things like that. And a lot of people have lost their equipment in matatus. So one of the ways to keep to keep safe from that is the moment your business allows you to start billing your clients for your transport, start doing that. Because if you do not have a private means, maybe like my bike, or those of us that are lucky enough to own cars, you might have to be using cabs frequently before you can get that other level of life. And one of the things that I wish on everyone who is a photographer and everyone in life, may one day, may you have means of your own. From my mouth to God's ears, amen. So that is the fourth point: avoid public transport. After that, that the fifth point is avoid detours. Okay, because some of us love detours. I was covering a wedding. Then after the wedding was done, I was told, by the way, we are passing through West T. We changa we nini, sindio. Then at mimi, I joined those people with my backpack full of gear, and the photos I've taken for the day still in the bag. And sometimes people have lost their equipment that way, because you're not even sure that these people that you met at the event are very genuine and good people. So please avoid detours. My principle is always this: it is from home to work, then work to home. So that means that even if at the place I was working there's a nice party that I want to attend, I'm going to first of all go home and drop my equipment or put them under custody of someone, have them locked away before I can indulge in everything. So please avoid detours. If you're going to work, just go to work, and after work, get home. Because in these detours that come in between, that you decide, let me pass through this particular hotel, let me pass through this particular bar, let me go and visit Nani at their shop. Some of the misfortunes that find us and we end up losing our gear and getting injured follow us at some time. So please be focused, be like a student, from home to work to home. Avoid detours when you're carrying your gear with you. Okay, that is the fifth point. Then the sixth point is also closely tied to the fifth point, and that is avoid drugs and alcohol. It is said that drugs and alcohol impair your judgment. Okay, and that impairment of judgment is going to even extend to you and how you take care of your gear. I know a real life scenario of someone who went for a job. Then they took a detour. Remember the tour I've just said in the previous point? They took a detour. They went out with some people they met at that particular job that they were working on during the day, and they got high, so high that they forgot they had a camera bag, and they left the bag at the place they were having the good time at, and went home. So by the time it hits them the next day, after they recover from their blackout, where's my camera bag? And that was the end of everything that they had in that camera bag. So please, as long as you're working, even if the job that you're shooting has a cocktail party running, please avoid drugs and alcohol. It's not bad for you to take your beers if you do that, but avoid taking them in the course of work. In the course of work, on the way to work or on the way from work, is going to keep your gear safer for longer. Then the last point as a wind up is please insure your gear. We have companies that have policies that allow us to insure our gear, and by extension also insure our home possessions. So in the same policy, I can have insurance for whatever I have in the house, these computers, my appliances. Then in the same policy, I can have an extension that allows me to cover my equipment under what you call high risk property, because I'm going to moving with them. They're going to have a bit higher premium than what is in the house. But in case I lose my phone, I lose my camera at work, I lose things like that, I'm going to get compensated. So please, if you can, please insure your gear, because gear is costly. You have $1 million worth of gear, 2 million, 3 million. So one of the ways to make sure that this gear serves you for life, and in case it is lost or stolen, it can be replaced, is by getting insurance. So that brings me to the end of this particular video. I was talking about just 7 tips to keep you safe as you move around Nairobi with your gear. And I'm done for the video. See you in the next one. My name is Mwalimu, and if you like this thing, please subscribe.